Probably one of the only ones here that has a bullet plane.
I'm making a wall for the cats.
A wall for cats.
Yes, it is National Cat Day.
Yay!
And we're not even talking about the NSFW stuff. No pussy day yet.
Ain't nobody used to give a damn. Yeah, I had to go and make a different plan. Yeah, guess who didn't get included? Even though you made me better, yo, I strictly do it for the fam.
And welcome everyone back to What Grinds Our Gears, the podcast, the one where we do all of the things of doing of the things while doing things.
I found a fidget thingy.
Where today I'm not recording in the usual place that we record. I'm using a different medium to make it an extra long episode. Because apparently starting next week we're doing a Not Safe for Work podcast that we're going to be like switching up the formula.
Next week, Jenny.
Yowie.
Where we'll go.
Sorry.
Where the first topic is an age-old one from everyone about why V never watches porn. Anyway, today's topic is something Sally wanted to talk about involving the magical world of Harry Potter.
Yeah, she was showing me her wand. I thought it was a whip. There's total miscommunication.
Yeah.
Either one of those words does not sound right, does it?
No. I mean, if you seriously replaced
Sally, showing me your wand.
showing the wand again. If you would go through the Harry Potter books and you're like, Harry grabbed his wand, you just pause and it just doesn't sound right.
Yeah, his wand. He's totally tugging his. I mean,
He whipped his wand out for Draco.
oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That would not happen. Draco might enjoy it, but Harry wouldn't do that.
Okay, in the books, no. In the movies,
Definitely.
not a story.
Because Daniel Radcliffe seemed way too willing to just whip his wand out for Draco.
Draco seems pretty willing to deceive as well in the movie.
But enough about talking about one of Sally's favorite pastimes. It's kind of interesting that we're talking about now because this year was also the 20 years later that happened this year.
Yes, it was 19 years later, and Albus, Rose, and Scorpius would all be at King's Cross going to their first year at Hogwarts. So the official next generation of Harry Potter would have started this year.
Nice.
And I'm still bitter because I got kicked out for no reason.
I have to be honest with you, I did not read the books. I watched the movies, and I still haven't seen the last movies.
At least you know a little bit.
I do a little bit. I know that Harry Potter is the son of the Potters, of course.
Yeah,
Son of the Potter.
I know that he's the child that was attempted to be assassinated by Voldemort, or the one whose name shall not be spoken, or however the hell they say it.
Who shall not be named with no
That
notes.
one. That's it.
Who now became a running gag on my channel last year about being called Samuel L. Voldemort after watching way too many Samuel L. Jackson movies.
Gosh.
Did you see the Star Wars dubbed with Samuel L. Jackson as Darth Vader?
Yep.
Gosh.
Anyways, I know that Harry was more of an average student than he was supposed to be, like this chosen one.
Yeah.
From what I understood from the movies, he was kind of like chosen to be the one to defeat the darkness and Voldemort. And
Technically, yes.
Yeah.
Technically.
but entering Hogwarts, he was more of an average student than anything. So people started doubting, and then as soon as their doubt would almost be fulfilled, he'd come out and whip out his wand.
Aaron's gonna lose it every time he says that.
Harry whips out his wand. It saves the day in the last final moments.
All it takes, ladies and gentlemen, is just whip out your wand.
Just whip out the wand. And what is that? What is that? Expelliarmus.
Expelliarmus.
Expelliarmus!
Yeah. Ah, there it is.
And then we can't forget the one that I've used for a dub remix. Expecto Patronum.
Expecto Patronus? I don't know.
What I've always loved about Harry Potter, though, it's just that the world of that in itself is that take away the magic, and you can put it in any situation, and it can be relatable. And it shows that not every situation is black and white. It shows that there are some people who can be torn. There's some people who are good at one thing, who are stereotyped. And it kind of shows how different people react to it. And in the end, goodness wins, of course. But
evil.
some are not, like with Voldemort. But then some can change. And that kind of just shows by environment, and which I really like. So it just... I mean, the magic was always cool as a kid, but when I got older and I took the magic away, like, that's what I really liked about it, was, like, the humanity behind it and how it showed different ways.
I can totally see that. I can get behind that. It kind of reminded me of, like, a coming-of-age high school story.
Exactly.
The magic.
Mm-hmm.
Bees pulsating by, breasts. Take away the magic and Bee's chest movements. High school drama. No, I don't want to make it down.
It really would be, because, like, if you took away the magic, you took away the Hogwarts houses, you would just have a bunch of teenagers.
Well, it's almost like
personalities.
The way it was kind of presented is high school, but what is I don't want to say fraternized.
Like a boarding school in a way.
That's the proper term. Like you're placed into separate fraternities.
Yeah.
Different houses.
Something like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's just kind of funny because you know how you walk into high school, or doesn't matter what grade in school, you can always tell which one's going to grow up to be the one stuck in jail. You know?
I don't know, and from all those weird tests I got, I'm apparently a Raven Thindor.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm caught between three things where it's like I could be the genius, the criminal, or the goody two-shoes.
I'm just talking about Malfoy.
Although, in my Bay's defense here, he did grow up to be a very good dad and a good husband and a good person. But what he showed, why I love that character, is that you grow up in an environment that is horribly toxic, and that's all you know. And then once you're exposed to something, you realize that it's not right, that you're in too deep. You can get out of it, you can change. And he's that example. Unlike Voldemort, who was born that way.
Yeah, born that way. I just have to watch. I think I only have, like, the last 3 movies.
Because movie-wise, it cut out a...
He was a little bitch in the first movie. Oh my god.
Sassy.
Like, I knew people like him in high school.
Yeah.
In the first films,
Yeah.
the little punk ass that I'm better than you, and you know who my father is. And oh my god.
Yeah, the stereotypical rich kid.
After that, like, what was it? Which movie was it where him and Harry actually, like, go toe to toe? And it's for real. It's not like...
Well, there were a few of them.
Yeah. Well, in the second one...
Yeah, but that was like,
But the cool thing about the second one was that when they did that, when they were doing that, that duel, Draco did a spell that was a 6-year spell, and he was in second year.
I prefer the
realize that
duel
he's actually very smart, and the bathroom duel in the sixth one, which was really good.
I prefer that one because it's like, it's more, I don't know how to put this. It's like Harry is finally going into his full rage about the whole situation because he wants to feel like he's justified in all these years of trying to finally be a good enough detective to find out a problem. And Malfoy just breaking down on his own mental psyche because he's finally seeing the error of his ways, being so arrogant, but he's so trapped in the situation. Where the dueling ideals of neither character knowing where the other's coming from feels more genuine than when they were second years. Just like, oh, I hate this little punk bastard.
So, let me ask you this, because this is kind of what I felt when I first watched the first two. Is that Harry, the only reason Harry kind of joins Hogwarts, aside from the owl showing up at his window, you know,
and Hagrid,
is to find out more about his parents.
Yes.
And from there, it's almost like a detective story. Like Harry is Sherlock Holmes trying to figure out what happened to his parents and who is Voldemort? Who is this man?
Correction, Aaron. If we're going to be with that analogy, Hermione is Sherlock.
Okay, fine. Harry is Watson. But
I love Harry.
Watson's actually pretty... I love Hermione as well, though. She was a perfect... She's not. She's a muggle. She's the only... You know?
No, she's mudblood.
But whatever. She's a muggle. That's why she gets picked on and bullied at school. That's why she has to work twice as hard than everybody else, because she's not a true wizard. And yet she comes out...
She's half-blood, like Snape.
And,
like Snape.
But nobody knows that until later. You know Hermione right from the beginning. That and, you know, I like Emma Watson. She's a good actress.
Yeah, Emma Watson was everyone's first female crush. Well, I was just like, no.
No, my first female crush was honestly Dolly Parton.
Mine was Connie Britton and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh, both good choices.
Zeta-Jones was my second. And only because of, was it The Mask of Zorro? I think that was the movie. But, anyways, Harry Potter. Not talking about this. But it just seemed to me like it was a mystery, more of a mystery movie than it was about, the wizarding and the magic and stuff was involved, and it added to the story. But the real story was Harry finding out what happened to his parents, who is this guy that nobody wants to talk about, and why did he try to kill me?
Yep.
You know, finding the truth.
Yep.
Essentially.
And what is it about me that is so special that I need to die?
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Because at school, he doesn't feel special. He's not particularly special to any one thing in class.
Yeah, exactly.
He's good at all things. Ron Weasley is, well...
He's just there.
I love Ron.
It's like, I love Ron, but it's like, what do you do in the story? Oh, I'm the best friend character. Yes, Ron, I understand this, but what do you do?
He's also good at Wizard's Test.
I'm the best friend character? Ron, what do you do? I don't know!
He's Yamcha. He fills in...
Oh, God!
He's Yamcha. Harry Potter's Goku, and he is Yamcha, and we all...
That is so cruel!
Oh, that analogy makes absolute perfect sense.
But I would not say that Hermione would be Chi-Chi.
Well, no, I mean, that analogy makes perfect sense. Because if Harry is Goku, that means Draco's Vegeta.
Oh, the Yaoi fan fiction just got even more angry and intense.
And Snape is Piccolo.
Snape could be Piccolo.
But who's Gohan?
Well,
Harry's kid when he has one.
Well, I was going to say technically Harry is Goku and Gohan.
Oh my god.
Because Snape kind of nurtures him. And
it
his
all
father
makes sense now!
But like, twist comes at the end where Hermione's not Chi-Chi. And Hermione goes after... Doesn't Hermione and Ron end up together?
Yep, because J.K. Rowling was like, I could make them a couple.
She didn't want to go with the norm, because everyone was saying, like, they wanted Harry and Hermione together. And
I wanted Ginny for years.
Ginny's amazing.
Is that the way that the books played out? Hermione ends up with Ron?
Yes. Yep. And so I was so pissed at Harry when he got with Ginny. I was like, motherfucker, that was my woman.
Is Ginny from, is it the third movie? Is he the one that he dances with? Is she the one that...
No.
That was one of the twins.
So
That's one
this
of
is
the-
a different.
The
So
twins.
this
Ron's little sister.
Oh,
Yes.
you know that makes perfect sense
Mhm.
then.
I was just so mad, like, boy, that is my woman. You get the hell off my woman, Harry.
She redheaded. I don't think I got introduced
She
to her in the
is.
studio.
She is.
So you're like Matthew McConaughey in Dazed and Confused. You love it.
Is that glitter?
That's amazing.
Yes. Yes. First preview to Glitter Bones.
That's amazing.
If only she could see if I never really put face cam anymore.
That's what I was gonna say. We can all talk about it, but you can't see it. See it yet?
But then the other like heated debated thing like
Showed
is Cursed Child.
I showed them.
Yeah.
But has she seen
Here's the thing I have an issue of Cursed Child.
Glitter Bones?
As much as I like a continuation to show off what the kids are doing, there could have been a better way to tell it.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the only thing. I have no problem with it being a continuation, but
Yeah.
the way they continued it was just awful.
Yeah. The
It's-
play setup was honestly kind of weird to me. Like, I think if I saw the play, it would have been different, but reading it was totally different.
I mean, it was like, okay, so Harry and Ginny are bad parents. Draco's the only good parent.
Really?
Teddy
Well, to be-
is...
Harry was kind of I don't think Harry was viewed as a bad parent. It's just he had postpartum after the war. He was going through PTSD. So, like, you know, he was having moments of that, and then Albus didn't understand, which led to a very, you know, a really, I think, relatable.
Which, if they wrote it like
Parent.
that, I could understand. But it's
Absolutely,
kind
yeah.
of like what I have a main issue with. I'll go into a video about this myself, about why I hate Naruto. But why I have an issue with Boruto's whole thing of his kid hating Naruto because he's always so busy being Hokage. But again, different video.
Well, yeah.
But the point I'm getting at is if they're gonna tell the story like that, they need to have it where it's structured a lot better, a lot smarter,
Yeah.
and can have a better follow through of relatability instead of just like, oh, so we get the exposition,
Yeah.
but where is the care factor?
Yeah, like, I honestly I didn't give a single crap about the Albus Harry storyline. I seriously loved the Malfoy redemption line of Scorpius and him trying to just fit in Hogwarts and not be considered a bad guy because what his family did. And then Draco being a single dad and, you know, having to go through that and try to raise his son right like how he wasn't. It
And
was like
so-
really good redemption arc.
Is this part of the books or is this part of the film?
Oh, this is
The Cursed Child,
which is 19 years later.
and
which is
adapted from a play.
Yeah,
And
but it's canon because she wrote it.
but
part of
it's just
But
the-
it's not in film.
no,
It's not
thank
film,
God.
no, it's just a play. It's just a
But
play.
it's
Okay.
just so stupid.
Adding to that now, I don't know, because at least I used to, I kind of deleted my Facebook, so
Oh, I'm deleting mine as soon as this recording's done.
I haven't on top of my movie news, but it sounds like the cast isn't so against making another Harry Potter film now, like the original cast.
I mean,
Now,
Daniel
had
Radcliffe
their
is still always against
hiatus.
just being known as Harry.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, I think though if they were to do another one, they would probably have to jump a few years ahead because the actors right now are not old enough if they're gonna jump ahead. So they would have to recast anyway.
And I
'Cause
think Daniel Radcliffe's the only one that'd be like, oh, thank fucking God, I'm not getting
Yeah,
in that man.
I don't think
as
he would
again.
go back, honestly.
Getting tired of these fucking teenagers come up to me saying, hey, Harry Potter, can you sign my book?
It's on my book, Harry.
I'd be that one dick like, hey, Daniel, can you sign Horns? And write, I sucked at this film?
Oh god! But then you have like the actors like you have like Rupert Grint who played Ron, and then you have Tom Felton who played Draco, and they go to all the conventions and they, you know, they will sign stuff. They still dress up and go to like Harry Potter World, and
And
you
then
know they
there's
have
Bonnie Wright
Bonnie-
who played as Ginny. And...
Radcliffe. No. I guess there was a Hogwarts that opened up in England.
yes.
Daniel Radcliffe himself went disguised as someone else.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So that's what I mean. I think, like, I remember when the films like were coming close to being done, and then J.K. Rowling's like, I'm gonna write another one, and then the entire cast is like, please God, don't, because they've literally grown up on screen as Harry Potter characters. They want it out, and I totally got that. Anybody could get that. And then, you know, it's 19 years later, right? That's what you said. It's been 19 since the first Harry Potter came out.
Yeah.
19 years in the future.
I think it took about 10 years for Daniel Radcliffe to just go, I can breathe.
Yeah.
I can breathe. I've been in some other films. I can
He
breathe.
was the Swiss Army man. That was wonderful.
Yep. That actually sounds hilarious. I want to see that.
Rupert Grint is now in, I don't know if the show is still going. As far as I knew it was, because it got good reviews, was Snatch on,
Yes.
was it, can't remember what channel it's on though.
And Emma Watson became a Disney princess.
He's also been on West End. He's in a lot of Broadway stuff too.
But he's kind of stretching his wings, you know, and now it's kind of come full round circle. Daniel Radcliffe's not bad, you know, he's not
Element for minor characters, and I throw Draco Malfoy as a minor character in the movies, but in the book he's a bigger character.
Yeah, because his development throughout the books was very astonishing.
Good. It was so good.
I even almost cried when he was just like, I have to kill you. I was like...
Yeah, because that was one of my biggest... Okay, to the grind your gears parts. In the movie, he says, I have to do this or he'll kill me. In the book is, if I don't do this, he'll kill my parents. So in the book, like, I don't know what they're thinking. I do not blame Tom Felton. I love him. He's one of my favorite actors. He did a great job for what he was given. But they took out a lot of humanity from the character in the movie.
Yeah, like he wasn't trying to save himself, he was trying to save his parents.
His parents, yeah. He was given the Dark Mark as a punishment because his dad failed. It was a punishment thing. It wasn't like he was like, oh, give me the Dark Mark, I want to do it. Like, he was forced.
So was his father part? See, I haven't seen the
His dad was a Death Eater, but he went to jail. And so his wife had to call on Sirius Snape to watch over his son to make sure he didn't mess up anything.
Yep.
I think that's the one I feel the most bad about, because doesn't Snape end up being a bad?
Not really. Like, Snape's whole history is very sad. Like, he grew up with the girl he was in love with, and he couldn't get her because she fell in love with another person. But he kept pining after her for so many years that he joined up a secret army just to be with her, even though he knew that she could never be his. And when he finally lost her, that's when everything about his life perspective had to change, where he wanted to be the good guy while putting on the bad guy persona. That is one of the most beautiful character studies I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, Snape was well done.
He was one of my favorites in the movies as well, just because Alan Rickman.
So good.
I love Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace.
Right.
May he rest in peace. The blessed Alan Rickman. Anyways, this should be more like, instead of Sally just and us discussing Harry Potter, it should just be Sally and V inform Aaron of Harry Potter. That should be.
I always was personally torn with Snape because, like, I could see from where he was upset where Lily fell in love with James and where James was, and he and his friends bullied Snape, and, you know, he slipped up one time, said something awful to her, and then the friendship was over. And so, like, I can get from Snape's point of view where it could make him mad. But at the same time, like, it gave him no right to, like, bully a bunch of kids. You know? Like, that's where I was torn with him.
Honestly, Sally, this is the thing I kind of learned having to do that myself for a few jobs I'm really glad I don't have to talk about. With certain things that you have to do where you go into the darker side of society, you have to go in super deep so no one knows that you're on the best side of things. If you have to play the role of a narc when you're trying to be in the police force, you have to get in so deep inside said forces that even your partners won't recognize you when you come up to finally expose what you're doing.
That's true.
Like Donnie Brasco.
Yeah.
I know that one.
But with the Snape thing, I just kind of feel like if it didn't have the magical aspect, and it was just like, instead of using magic as the metaphor, and it was just like they were at war, like
Yeah.
Britain was at war with some country led by someone that was once a former British citizen that knew a bunch of big secrets, it still would have had a big enough impact.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there was a war?
No.
Yes.
I'm just using a
Well,
metaphor.
Technically, there are 2 wars in Harry Potter. But the one before Harry was born, and then when he was 17. So there are 2.
So, okay, so like what happened during that first war is a result, or Harry being scarred by Voldemort is
Yes.
a result of that.
First one, yeah.
Yep, and also a big thing that happens at the end of the 7th book that reveals why he's connected to Voldemort, which is
Yes.
honestly the weirdest part to me.
Yeah.
That part, because I wanted to watch these movies, I never did. I don't know what happened.
I mean, Aaron, are you okay being spoiled with at least this much?
Spoil me, I'm gonna watch them anyways.
See, the reason that Harry was connected with Voldemort was because of, not only was his scar made by Tom Riddle, but because he was technically an imperfect Horcrux, meaning he had a piece of Voldemort's soul inside
Yep.
himself.
Really?
And that's what allowed him to also talk to snakes.
I
Yes.
thought a Horcrux was I thought that was a bad thing. Like I thought that was like something you implanted as a failsafe to like.
It technically is a bad thing, because to make a Horcrux, you have to kill someone. And so he made 7 Horcruxes.
And Harry
killed
being
7.
the 8th kind of made no sense to me in just
Yeah.
one small regard.
Because he didn't die.
Yeah, because the way they built it up in the 6th book, it's like, okay, so you have to be dead, or it has to be something super personal to be this
I think they-
attachment.
If I was reading correctly in some of the reviews of the Fantastic Beasts is Where to Find Them, I didn't see that one either. But
I love
apparently
that
at
movie.
that one, what the female lead was supposed to be a Horcrux, or something that she possessed was a Horcrux. In that,
I'm not sure.
I was reading something about. See, I know nothing about it, and I'm going to talk about it anyways.
But I mean,
Ignorant.
no one knows. Like, this first movie just set up so many things of just the 11th Doctor as a wizard, basically. That's all Newt Slenderman. I can't pronounce his last name.
Slenderman?
I can't pronounce his last name to save my life.
Matt Smith is a wizard?
No, think of it like this.
Scamander.
Newt Scamander is basically the 11th Doctor from Doctor Who. Floppy
He's
hair, acting
He's not
all weird.
played by the same guy. He kind of has the same character.
Yeah,
So he's clever, as they say.
Yeah, he's very clever.
he's
Very
basically the Doctor if the Doctor
Yeah.
was a wizard. So you're welcome, fans of both Doctor Who and Harry Potter. We
Right,
finally
you know.
have the Doctor Wizard.
The Doctor Wizard. Now,
Actually,
if only David Tennant could use magic, but he's unfortunately already been part of the Harry Potter series, and not as the
David
Doctor.
Tennant's busy being a supervillain with Marvel. He's too busy. Anyway.
Well, he was already a villain in the Harry Potter series too.
Yeah, but he's too busy being a supervillain in Marvel right now. He has no time for
No,
magic.
that was just announced like last month that he was going to be returning to Jessica Jones for season 2.
Yeah, because Kilgrave can never die, but that's a comic book thing we can get into another day. Because,
But in
again,
the
comics
TV
are fucking
series-
weird.
In the TV series, they wanted to kill him off because you can't do that in a TV series, or at least they haven't been able to do it yet.
Oh, no, they've done it in the comics too, like having his neck snap, falling off of cliffs, all that stuff with Kilgrave. Kilgrave can't die.
Nobody in comics can die.
Except Jean Grey.
Well, again, she's still technically alive, but yeah.
I
gonna
will
say,
ask people who are going to be watching this, though. One of my biggest things that I get so annoyed on is when people ask you, they're like, "What house are you?" And if you say Slytherin, like, I'm a Slytherin, I'm a proud Slytherin, I'm cunning and ambitious, like, there's nothing wrong with that. You get looked at like you're this evil villain who murders people. Like, it's really stupid. Like, they only showed, like, 5 Slytherins the entire freaking time. Like, you think every Slytherin's gonna be like that?
No,
Like-
no.
To be honest with you, having not read the books, but seeing the films, not
Yeah.
all of the films, most of the films,
Yeah.
if I were ever to go to a con and somebody ever walked up to me and asked that, I would say Slytherin just to see that look.
Here you go.
Just knowing. I know.
Yeah,
Slytherin's
because that's
the bad
gonna
guy.
happen.
They made that apparent in the movies. You know, Malfoy is the lowest of the low unless you actually read the books and know his character.
Or if you're a fangirl and you just want to get down and I'm not gonna finish that sentence right now.
This
Okay,
is not
to
an
be fair,
SW.
I didn't actually think he was cute until they casted Tom Felton. I just thought the character.
Going to one of the Hogwarts in England and dressing up and playing along. It just the way they made it sound. They many of them were open to it. So maybe you'll get your cursed child in film form.
Maybe.
Yeah, like, I think if they did that, they would have to cast older, though, because they're, like, what, 30, 40-ish at this point, and I don't think any of the younger actors, because to be fair, at the end of the Deathly Hallows Part 2, the makeup was horrible.
I mean,
For aging them up, it looked like crap.
I mean, Sally, if we were gonna have to go for the right casting, I think they should look at the person on Instagram that's been doing like the after years artwork, like with Harry with sort of long hair and unfortunately
Yeah.
the man bun, and like a pixie cut Jenny and like Draco and his wife, where it's like Draco with a ponytail, like
Yeah.
almost like his dad. I could see them trying to find actors close to the artwork of the Instagram artist of Potter by Divrick. I'll probably post it in the description or something.
Actually, one thing I liked about Cursed Child is when they released photos of the cast for that play. That is how I envision them looking. So all they have to do is look at like what they did kind of for the play for the characters.
And
They did
redo
it.
the whole fucking story.
Yeah, the story definitely could use some work, but I didn't dislike it overall. It wasn't like the worst thing I've ever read. So
Well, as long as J.K. Rowling is involved, I'm sure they could fix whatever problems there are with it. She's obviously a very good writer.
mhm.
I mean, it's because of her work that a bunch of fans are happy that they got Percy Jackson the Olympian, so...
I like that
Yeah.
film series, damn it. I never read the books, but I am in love with mythology. I love Norse mythology more. Like, that's my favorite. Like, Roman and Greek mythology are my second favorites. And if you look at, I know we're off topic, but if you look at all three, they all have parallels, and they all take place at different time periods. Well, Greeks and Romans kind of happen around the same time, but like the Norse mythology happened at a different time period than these two, and yet you can draw parallels between almost all the gods.
Speaking of Norse mythology, Vikings is coming back soon, and I'm really excited.
You